Olga Ivanovna was 22. Dimov was 31. They got on splendidly together when they were married. Olga Ivanovna hung all her drawing room walls with her own and other people's sketches, in frames and without frames, and near the piano and furniture arranged picturesque corners with Japanese parasols, easels, daggers, busts, photographs, and rags of many colors. In the dining room she papered the walls with peasant woodcuts, hung up bark shoes and sickles, stood in a corner a scythe and a rake, and so achieved a dining room in the Russian style. In her bedroom she draped the ceiling and the walls with dark cloths to make it like a cavern, hung a Venetian lantern over the beds, and at the door set a figure with a halberd. And everyone thought that the young people had a very charming little home. When she got up at 11 o'clock every morning, Olga Ivanovna played the piano, or if it were sunny, painted something in oils. Then between 12 and 1 she drove to her dressmaker's. As Dimov and she had very little money, only just enough, she and her dressmaker were often put to clever shifts to enable her to appear constantly in new dresses and make a sensation with them. Very often out of an old dyed dress, out of bits of tulle, lace, plush, and silk costing nothing, perfect marvels were created, something bewitching, not a dress, but a dream. From the dressmakers, Olga Ivanovna usually drove to some actress of her acquaintance to hear the latest theatrical gossip, and incidentally to try and get hold of tickets for the first night of some new play or for a benefit performance. From the actresses, she had to go to some artist's studio or to some exhibition or to see some celebrity, either to pay a visit or to give an invitation or simply to have a chat. And everywhere she met with a gay and friendly welcome and was assured that she was good, that she was sweet, that she was rare. Those whom she called great and famous received her as one of themselves, as an equal, and predicted with one voice that with her talents, her taste, and her intelligence, she would do great things if she concentrated herself. She sang, she played the piano, she painted in oils, she carved, she took part in amateur performances, and all this not just anyhow, but all with talent. Whether she made lanterns for an illumination, or dressed up, or tied somebody's cravat, everything she did was exceptionally graceful, artistic, and charming. But her talents showed themselves in nothing so clearly as in her faculty for quickly becoming acquainted and on intimate terms with celebrated people. No sooner did any one become ever so little celebrated and set people talking about him than she made his acquaintance, got on friendly terms the same day, and invited him to her house. Every new acquaintance she made was a veritable fete for her. She adored celebrated people, was proud of them, dreamed of them every night. She craved for them, and never could satisfy her craving. The old ones departed and were forgotten. New ones came to replace them. But to these two she soon grew accustomed or was disappointed in them, and began eagerly seeking for fresh great men, finding them and seeking for them again. What for? Between 4 and 5 she dined at home with her husband. His simplicity, good sense, and kind-heartedness touched her and moved her up to enthusiasm. She was constantly jumping up, impulsively hugging his head and showering kisses on it. "You are a clever, generous man, Dimov," she used to say, "but you have one very serious defect. You take absolutely no interest in art. You don't believe in music or painting." "I don't understand them," he would say mildly. "I've spent all my life in working at natural science and medicine, and I have never had time to take an interest in the arts." "But you know that's awful, Dimov." "Why so?" "Your friends don't know anything of science or medicine, but you don't reproach them with it. Everyone has his own line. I don't understand landscapes and operas, but the way I look at it is that if one set of sensible people devote their whole lives to them, and another sensible people pay immense sums for them, they must be of use. I don't understand them, but not understanding does not imply disbelieving in them. Let me shake your honest hand." After dinner, Olga Ivanovna would drive off to see her friends, then to a theater or to a concert, and she returned home after midnight. So it was every day. On Wednesdays, she had at-homes. At these at-homes, the hostess and her guests did not play cards and did not dance, but entertained themselves with various arts. An actor from the dramatic theater recited, a singer sang, artists sketched in the albums of which Olga Ivanovna had a great number. The violoncellist played, and the hostess herself sketched, carved, sang, and played accompaniments. In the intervals between the recitations, music, and singing, they talked and argued about literature, the theater, and painting. There were no ladies, for Olga Ivanovna considered all ladies wearisome and vulgar, except actresses and her dressmaker. Not one of these entertainments passed without the hostess starting at every ring of the bell and saying with a triumphant expression, "It is meaning by he, of course, some new celebrity." Dymov was not in the drawing room, and no one remembered his existence. But exactly at 11:30, the door leading into the dining room opened, and Dymov would appear with his good-natured, gentle smile and say, rubbing his hands, "Come to supper, gentlemen." They all went into the dining room, and every time found on the table exactly the same things: a dish of oysters, a piece of ham or veal, sardines, cheese, caviar, mushrooms, vodka, and 2 decanters of wine. "My dear maître d'hôtel," Olga Ivanovna would say, clasping her hands with enthusiasm, "you are simply fascinating. My friends, look at his forehead. Dymov, turn your profile. Look, he has the face of a Bengal tiger and an expression as kind and sweet as a gazelle. Ah, the darling." The visitors ate, and looking at Dymov, thought, "He really is a nice fellow." But they soon forgot about him and went on talking about the theater, music, and painting.